You can't see my snapping my fingers, so it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, ASMR. Another video game tournament story, I guess. In a longer version. I know someone was asking. The last story I did about the Guilty Gear thing, isn't that kind of a story that I've told before? And you know, I've talked a lot about here and there about a lot of these little things. So here's another story. I'll give a bit of a longer version of a story that people ask me about, or I've been asked about, a tournament kind of thing. And as usual, like I said, I don't have a lot of happy memories from when I played video games, so, dude, don't expect like a happy memory of something, dude, you know? I mean, I don't know, right? So, and a lot of this isn't, well, actually, some of the people might, I guess this story might be sounding like I'm talking shit about people per se, but whatever, fucking name. So I'm gonna tell a story about that. One of the last tournaments I ever entered, it was that Evo that I got second at in the Alpha tournament. And maybe I'll post a link to that tournament too, which was, man, over 10 years ago when they had that Alpha side tournament or whatever. Ooh, boy. So, boy, how the fuck would I transition into that? I might like skip a few parts, but so and this has nothing to do with if that Hyper Alpha game was a good game or a bad game. Like, I'll get into that later, right? Because I'm not saying the game was awesome. I'm not saying the game was complete shit, right? I'm just telling a story. So let's not worry about the game as it is for now. So it was that summer, and this was in 2006, right? So this shows you how long ago when I was playing video games. So I heard that there was going to be that Hyper Alpha tournament, and that game had just come out recently, or I think it had been out maybe for like a few months or something like that. And I had heard that it was going to be at Evo, and I was just, you know, I was going actually with friends just to Las Vegas, so we were going to be there to play and stuff. And my friend Scott, who's actually commented in the comments as well, some of these, Scott usually had more games than me, I guess, and he was like more new, was more savvy, I guess. And Scott brought over the Hyper Alpha game to a friend of mine, AJ's or whatever, and I'm like, oh, Hyper Alpha? I'm like, oh yeah, Street Fighter Alpha. I'm like, okay, like I'll play this game, right? So I think we just played it randomly, and the game's pretty clusterfucky. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how they had the Super, what was that game? Hyper Street Fighter 2, which was like an anniversary edition, had all the modes in it. Well, Hyper Alpha was weird in that it kind of was like a pretty big clusterfuck, but it also added some new shit. But it did a weird thing of it kind of every character kind of got toned down a little bit and got like it's like they kind of like started to try to make a legitimate game and they stopped halfway through because even like you know all the characters are kind of missing some stuff but then they kind of have new things but they're all kind of ghetto and it's kind of like Mugen-y but a bit better than a Mugen game, you know what I mean? But it's kind of a clusterfuck, but whatever the case, dude. So you know my friend Scott brought it over, so I didn't even have the game, right? And I'm like, oh shit, Street Fighter Alpha. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll play this. I just thought it was kind of fun, just something to do, you know what I mean? So before Evo, I don't even think that Scott gave me a copy of the game before Evo. I mean, God, I think I might have gotten a copy of the game from Scott either a week before Evo or something, no joke, or like after Evo. Like it's not like I was practicing or anything. And this is actually right before because I had quit tournaments right after this. I was about to have surgery on my hands actually. So my hands were pretty bad. Like even for Street Fighter at this point, which I don't recommend Street Fighter for a pad. Like at this point I was already way into playing on a controller. Even for games like Street Fighter, because yeah, like I was actually about to have surgery on my hands. So whatever the case, so the Hyper Alpha tournament is happening at Evo, and I'm just fucking demolishing this tournament, dude. I'm like demolishing everybody, right? And Jeron is running the tournament. I think it's Jeron, right? And can I go off on a tangent here, just so this will be a bit of a different story too. My only interactions with Jerron have been negative, to be honest with you. I don't know him personally. We've never hung out or did anything like that, but every interaction I've ever had with that dude, even though it's slight, has been like a negative one. Like I remember even years earlier when I was a kid and I was like in a CVS tournament or something like that, and I think I played him in a CVS tournament at some point, and the dude literally was he like shaked the machine anytime I would start to like hit him, like literally like he was like he would like grab the machine and he was like trying to like tenderize it or something. He was like putting some herbs and spices on it. He was like beating the machine up or something like that. Like it was so bad. I remember like literally as a kid like turning around to see if like this was normal, that this is how people play during tournaments. I was like, is someone gonna fucking stop this dude? This dude is literally fucking shaking the machine. So that was my very first interaction with him. And then my only other interaction with him was, to go off on another tangent, if people remember Capcom Fighting Jam, well, Capcom Fighting Jam was a game that died in the community pretty early on. And there was only a few big tournaments for that game ever that I recall. Maybe a couple of big quotation mark East Coast tournaments for the game, maybe some Cali things, you know what I mean? But in general, the game didn't last very long. But one of the biggest tournaments for the game, I actually got third at. And that was that terrible fucking tournament that I've talked about before, that I drove 3 or 4 hours to Ohio to meet up with some people. And then we drove that 10 hours, whatever, to fucking Philadelphia or wherever the fuck it was. And God, dude, they didn't have our room. They gave away our room at the hotel, so we didn't have a fucking place to stay. So we didn't get to sleep. And I remember, so basically I was like trying to take a nap on the fucking floor or in like the fucking lobby. It was absolutely ridiculous. They gave away our fucking hotel room, dude. Unbelievable. And I remember before the tournament, anytime I tried to play, if anyone knows that fucking Flash Metroid fuck, every time I tried to practice before the tournament for anything, he came over and he shut the PS off. PS, there's a PlayStation 2, and he shut it off on me. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like falling asleep. I'm trying to like play for like 5 seconds before the tournament. He's like, only I get to practice before tournaments. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, dude? So I turned on the PlayStation again to play, and he turned it off on me again. Like, this is a tournament that if I were an adult, I probably would have gotten in a fight with him. You know what I mean? And I think after the third time I just left, right? Then me and him ended up versing in the fucking tournament, dude. No joke. This stupid fuck, man. We set our buttons before the tournament. He makes me, I beat him twice in a row. He's like, oh, my buttons weren't working. My buttons weren't correct. I'm looking around. No one fucking does anything. I'm like, are you seriously going to make me beat this guy 2 times in a row again? I beat him another 2 times in a row again. He says, oh, my buttons aren't working. I'm looking around. It's like, motherfucker, I haven't slept in like fucking 14, or actually, since we're way into the tournament, probably over a fucking day, right? And like, are you serious? Is someone gonna do something? Dude makes me beat him another 2 fucking times in a row, picks up his arcade stick. He's like, yeah, my buttons were still wrong. Dude, that dude is such a fucking cunt, dude. As I did, and I was just like so fucking tired. I was like, man. Anyway, so I ended up getting third in that tournament, and I remember I beat Jeron and everything like that. I think I lost to a Churro, and who else did I lose to? I don't remember. But anyway, whatever the fuck. Terrible fucking tournament. Terrible experience that makes me regret playing video games. And I only fucking randomly went. I think I was really playing Star Ocean 3 at the time. I was really into RPGs, I think, at that tournament. And I hadn't played a lot of fighting games. But whatever the case, and I remember after that, after Capcom Fighting Jam, it ended up totally dying a few months after that. And the community just gave up on it. And so I remember there's some like Shoryuken thread or something like, who was the best Capcom Fighting Jam player or something like that. And I don't know why. I have an ego, okay, so this is gonna make me sound maybe like I'm a little bit petty, but they're posting like the top 5 for Capcom Fighting Jam in America from the tournaments, and I don't remember. It was like top 5, like maybe it was Ricky or whoever else the fuck they put. And then fifth spot was Jeron. And I remember someone was like, well, didn't like Clayton Final Showdown like beat you in tournaments or something like that? He's like, oh yeah, he did, but I'm better, so who cares? I don't remember. He said something stupid like that. And I was just like, man, dude, I was like, I did just fucking beat that dude. What the fuck, bro? Come on, man. I don't know, dude. So whatever. So that was like, I think my second interaction with Jeron ever. Anyway, so the third interaction I'm off on, man. So it's Evo, right? And I'm demolishing this Hyper Alpha tournament, dude. I'm like, holy fuck, dude. I'm going to win this fucking tournament, dude. I'm like, dude, I guess I'm going to win this tournament, dude. I've barely played the game, but I'm fucking demolishing everybody, right? So anyway, and I keep going back to Jeron because I'm like, dude, if I'm going to win, keep me up to date. Let's get this tournament over. Like, get me in a good mood, right? And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll tell you when you're next. I'll tell you when you're next. And so literally at one point I just pop in back next. I'm like, yeah, dude, is my next match in? He's like, oh, sorry, Clayton, Final Showdown, whatever you call me. He's like, I disqualified you because I thought you didn't want to enter the tournament anymore. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? I'm winning the tournament, dude. I've been like demolishing all these people, dude. I've come up to you how many fucking times now asking you when my next match is. He's like, oh shit. Oh, he's like, okay, well, sorry, dude, but since I disqualified you and I guess you did want to be in the tournament, now we have to. And this has happened at other tournaments before too, just to show you this how shady things back in the day were. And that's someone asked something about this too. No, shit like this would not happen nowadays because things are so streamed. People wouldn't fucking get away with it, dude. But anyway, so anyway, he's like, oh, okay, well, let's just do the final top eight. Let's just have like a round robin. I don't even remember if we did a round robin or whatever the fuck was like. Let's just all start over the final eight. Let's start all over. And since it's like fucked up, let's like not do it at the main stage at Evo. Let's do it in our hotel room. And I'm like, okay. So we go to the fucking hotel room, and of course I'm fucking demolishing people again, dude, right? So anyway, then it's me and Mike Watson in the finals, which of course, if people know the story, I've talked about Mike Watson before. I would never talk shit about Mike Watson. And I was really pissed off when someone tried to say that I talked shit about Mike Watson before. Like that was insane, right? I remember reading about Mike Watson so much as a kid. So it's me and Mike and Watson in the finals of the tournament, and he wins the first match. And then someone pulls the fucking fire alarm so we don't get to finish the finals. And I'm like, dude, are you serious? Because I haven't even played Ryu yet. I was only playing Guy to like fool around. I wasn't even playing Ryu yet. So I was like, dude, are you serious? So anyway, and then after the tournament, I remember such bullshit, dude. Because all these people were like, oh yeah, Hyper Alpha sucks. We hate this game. We never wanted to play it anyway. And all these people started making up such fucking bullshit excuses, dude. And I was like, dude, they're like, yeah, I think some people actually try to say we only had the tournament because Clayton Final Showdown wanted it. And I was like, oh my God, you motherfuckers are so fucking bullshit. Because first of all, you know I don't like most you fucks. I don't like you guys. So why the fuck you're gonna have a world tournament, this tournament at the world tournament for me, a guy that you don't fucking get along with, and I don't fucking like you guys either? Are you fucking kidding me? And I remember that stupid Saber fuck. I've never liked that guy either. Anytime that guy used to post on Shuriken, that dude is one of those dudes that I got the vibe whenever he would post something like I've told this before. You know, some people you just don't respect, but some people you don't respect, like as a man. Like anytime he would post, the dude was just so he never had like an opinion of his own. Every time I saw him post, it was something like bullshit, and I was like, dude, this dude has like no fucking opinion of his own, dude. He's like, I would like respect nothing that this dude says. And I remember this dude tried to start talking shit about the game, and all these people started bagging on the game who were actually the ones who wanted to play the game. You guys had the tournament, dude. You guys liked it, right? And so people started making up all this bullshit reasons why they didn't like the game. And it's funny because that's why I say I don't even think I had the game yet, right? Because then I think I asked Scott to give me the game. And then I started fooling around with the game and I was like, man, I was like, yeah, this game actually, and like I said, it's kind of weird because it's like every character they kind of took some shit away from them, but then they added some shit too. It's like it's a fucking clusterfuck of a game, but it's like they only went halfway. But if anyone remembers, if you actually look at the game, I've posted a lot of the new shit in it, and actually Alpha 3 characters can actually infinite all the Alpha 1 characters if they do something. You know what I mean? Which wasn't known at the time because people didn't actually really played the game. You know what I mean? But when I heard people start talking shit about it, I was like, okay, I'm actually going to look at this game. And again, this isn't to say the game is good, but some of the shit that people complain about the game doesn't even exist, right? So again, it's kind of like an unfinished. It's like they were making the game and they didn't actually finish it because again, it is a clusterfuck. But anyway, so people were making up all this bullshit, so fucking salty that I'd fucking beat them. It was ridiculous. And actually, it's funny. Again, this isn't a thing about Mike Watson, but Mike Watson did play auto mode against me, and there's actually a glitch in the game where if you pick auto mode, you cannot be hit by overheads after a certain amount of time has passed. Not a fucking joke, dude. And I found that out after I played. Because I remember in the tournament, like, I wasn't surprised that he played auto mode because I've been in Street Fighter a long time. So I know about auto mode in Alpha 1, right? I mean, if anyone knows, again, if anyone has seen me play Alpha 1 against the Japanese, you know what I mean? It's a game a lot of people know me for. You know, I've wrecked some shit. Um, so I wasn't surprised that he played Alpha 1 auto mode or whatever, but I thought that some of the stuff I was confused as to how he was blocking it, and certain things cannot hit you after a certain amount of time has passed, after you've like blocked a couple of things. And I didn't find that out till after I'd actually played the game. So there's actually a glitch with it in the game that makes it even more fucking broken. But anyway, so a funny story about this too is that so many years ago, and I bring this up because it just shows you how fucking petty and shady the community is and why I have such little respect for it. So many years ago, there was an Alpha, I think it was an Alpha 2 tournament, right? And I was just casually watching it. And I was like, oh, there's like a video game tournament. And I actually wasn't doing anything. So I don't watch a lot of video games, right? But I was just flipping through whatever. Someone posted it, I think. And coincidentally enough, they started talking about Evo in the big Hyper Alpha tournament. And I was like, oh shit, they're talking about Hyper Alpha. And I was like, oh yeah, we were so excited about this game. Everyone was like, we all really liked it, but then we found this broken bug was it in this glitch, and they started naming off bugs and glitches that aren't even in the game, dude. And I was like, wait a second, what the fuck are they talking about, dude? And then they're like, yeah, and they're like, we really knew it was shady when there was the blonde hair surfer boy kid came and got fourth with Guy doing all these cheating combos and redizzy combos and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my god, these fuckers are so fucking salty. I was like, did they just try to say that I got fourth place? First of all, I got second place, and you guys fucking pulled the fire alarm during the finals, so we couldn't finish it. And second of all, you guys are trying to say I did combos to beat you that don't even exist in the game. I was like, oh my fucking god, dude. You guys are such fucking babies, dude. Like, people wonder why I quit playing video games. You motherfuckers were losing to a person who just plays video games for fun, randomly. You guys were losing to someone who could barely hold a controller, on disability, who isn't even good in tournaments. I've said this before. Part of being good at tournaments is having a killer instinct. And I was never someone that had a killer instinct because I get nervous and everything like that, right? So I don't even have a killer instinct, right? I'm just very confident in terms of raw skill. I'm very confident in a video game, right? But no doubt in tournaments, there is a part of being good at tournaments is having a killer instinct, right? And rising to the occasion, right? So that is something I lack as a player, but raw skill wise, I'm very confident as a player. But whatever the case, I saw that dude. I'm like, oh my God, these fucks are so shady, dude. Fucking blonde hair surfer boy got fourth with Guy, doing cheating combos and bugs and glitches. They accused me of doing shit that doesn't even exist in the game anymore. Because I don't know if people realize this. Again, once I actually got the game and I played it, I'm like, dude, that's what I thought. Because I thought when I had played it a little bit, I'm like, this is a little bit different. Like, I don't think Guy's redizzy combos work. I don't think this combo works with Guy anymore. I don't think this combo's right. And then I tried out and like, yeah, it doesn't work, dude. They were like so shady trying to say I'm doing shit that doesn't even work to them, dude. I can't believe that. But that was a longer version of that story that I've told before that gets asked on stream a lot. Yeah, so there you go. There's a couple of video game stories for you.